So we're officially in the second month of the series. Thank you if you've stuck with me this long. It's been a good week. Lots happening. It's been fun. So I'm going to rewind back to last weekend, and I did a shift at the bottle shop last Saturday. Nice and steady. And I decided to have a few beverages, and I got a friend to take me home. I left my car there. Remember that because it's important later. Anyway, I wake up Sunday morning, and my missus is a big fan of tennis. And on Sunday morning, it was the Australian Open final at 8 a.m. Obviously, they're at the other side of the world to me, so yeah, 8 a.m. And we decided to get up early and have mimosas and espresso martinis and stuff like that, and basically just get pissed all day. And it was fun. I was quite invested in this match. I quite like tennis, but this time I was really, really into it because it was a game between Nadal and Medvedev. And I can't stand Medvedev. He's so rude and treats people like shit. I'm not really the biggest fan of Nadal, but God, I just want him to absolutely obliterate him. And we had a full English breakfast, we're supping these mimosas, we're having a really good morning, and within like an hour and a half, Medvedev had already won the first 2 sets, and we were sat there thinking, God, this is going to suck. You know, we'd expected to have like 5 hours of drinking and laughing and watching this game together and getting into it. Nadal played so bad. Then out of nowhere, Nadal won the 3rd set, and it's on to a 4th set he won, and then the 5th set was really close, and he managed to win it, and it was the best experience, because if Medvedev would have won 2, and then Nadal won 2, and then Medvedev won the last one, obviously, and win overall, it would have been such a kick in the balls after coming back that far. But yeah, Nadal managed to take it, and it was a really good day. We were drinking these espresso martinis after a little bit, and I couldn't get the consistency quite right, so I decided to, after I made the espresso, I put a handful of marshmallows in and microwaved it to melt them, and it created such a gloopy foam on top. Trust me, if you ever do it, you won't regret it. It makes the drink so thick and sweet and just, wah. But 1 or 2 of those and yeah, you've had enough. Monday was a bit of a write-off. I had some work to do. I started playing God of War this week. It's the first time I've ever played or even seen anything God of War related. And I bought it on PS4 like 2 years ago when it was on sale. I think I got it for about £5. But my PlayStation 4 makes that much noise. It's like whee every time you turn it on. I just can't cope with it. I'm so delicate to noises. So I just left it. And I thought if one day I get a PS5 and they do some kind of upgrade, I'll give it a go. And then out of nowhere it dropped on Steam. So I think I bought it on CD keys for like £25. I'm thinking I'm going to love this because everyone raves about how good it is. And they weren't wrong at all. The first day I streamed it, I did 4 hours, and as soon as I shut it down, I was sat there in bed and I was like, I just want to carry on playing. It's such a good game. The graphics, the fighting, the music, the voice acting, the storyline, the skill tree, it's all so good. And it's not really a game that I've ever played. It's not. I don't play stuff that style. I've never really been into them, but I'm really, really loving it. And I'm hoping it gets my, fighting skills up. Ready for Elden Ring's release in a couple of weeks. I'll also be losing another virginity on that game and playing a FromSoft game for the first time. I've watched a lot of Elden Ring footage on YouTube. These network tests and things like that. I've just people cruising through areas and having a good time on it. And it does look really good. I'm just nervous about committing a lot of time to it and not being able to do it, but I can be quite persistent, I think. I don't like being beaten. During that stream, I managed to sell, I think, 3 more t-shirts, so that's awesome. So I'm currently 6 out of 20. So if you do want one of those...
Well, now you can buy your very own. I've got to buy Jim Pokemon. I've got to buy it. I've got to buy it.
They look absolutely awesome, and it's about £12 plus shipping, which I saw afterwards is insanely cheap, considering how much they cost to make and what other people sell them for. 3 colour tone, really sexy, long sleeve print as well. I wake up Tuesday and I'm doing some bits on my computer, watching a bit of Twitch, doing things like that. And I've got a shift at the bottle shop at 2 PM, so I spend all day fanning about around the house. And the shop's only like 10 minutes away from where I live, so I thought, right, I'll set off half an hour early, grab myself a breakfast on the way there, start at 2, happy days. I walk out of my house, my car's gone, I'm like, and that sinking feeling, I was like, oh my God, my car's been nicked. And I'm thinking about things that are in the car, like precious memento, there's not many really, but little things that my mum bought me, like this little car cleaning kit, and it's slightly sentimental, but I'm really soft when it comes to stuff like that. And I got really upset, and I'm just stood there thinking, oh. Anyway, so I'm stood on my driveway, and I'm just looking around and thinking, what do I do? Do I ring insurance? Do I ring police? My car's been nicked. And then I tried to think back to the last time I used it, and I was like, oh shit, Saturday. I drove to work, but I left my car there, so my car's been there for 3 days. A prime example of my brain farts. I ring Jess's parents. Oh, quick, can you come and give me a lift? And they were like, we're on holiday. And I'm sat there thinking, I know you're on holiday. I said goodbye to you yesterday. Why am I ringing you? I'm stupid. My brain doesn't work anymore. Ah! So I quickly ring a taxi firm. I'm like, yo, I need lift to work, whatever. And I told the taxi driver my situation, and it was just, I expected him to laugh at me, and it was just like, So the next 10 minutes of that journey was just me sat in silence all the way there. This week's cup belongs to my daughter. Nice. Anyway, so I'd had a bit of a stressy day, and I was feeling quite meh. So I went to the local for a quick couple of pints before my tea. And there were these people in, and they were talking about seafood. And they were all like, oh, have you ever tried lobster's eyes? And all this stuff. And then they were talking about all these different fish and oysters and clams and shit that they met. And I'm thinking, ugh. And then I just thought about how little seafood experience I've ever had. Off the top of my head, I've only had 5 things that are fishy. So obviously fish and chips you get from Chip Shop. Fish fingers as a kid. Fish in butter sauce, those little square things that are covered in parsley. Salmon spread as a kid. And salmon chunks once, but I'll explain that in a minute. So I've never tried anything. I've never tried tuna. I've never tried, I don't know, anything. The thought of it just, it disgusts me. I think at one point when I was a kid, I tried a crab stick, or at least smelt one and nearly threw up. But yeah, seafood is not for me. So the thing with the salmon chunks, when I was about 21 or something, my mum asked me to babysit the youngest brother while she went away. And she had left me a couple of bottles of red wine. And I don't really remember much, but I remember drinking both bottles of red wine and then having a third bottle of red wine. And while I was in my drunken state, I cooked a full bag of salmon fillet chunks. And I can't really remember what they tasted like, but I don't think I liked them. Then again, the full packet was gone when I woke up, so I must have eaten them. Anyway, doesn't matter. So at some point, me and Jess were talking about it as well, and she found it baffling that I've never tried tuna. And I've smelt tuna, you know, when you go to Subway and all that kind of stuff. People in high school, they're always having tuna pasta and all that. It smells minging, but I imagine it tastes really nice, but I just can't get around it. The day after, Wednesday, I went to set up for a trade show that I was doing with my main business, the animation stuff. I went to set up my stand, which basically consists of 3 monitors, and I create one animation that runs across all 3 screens, and it's quite nice. So I completely read the email wrong, and I thought it said you can set up all day, basically. I just skimmed it, thought, right, I'll go through it 1:30, and I'll go set up and I'll leave it. I pull up at the driveway, and the woman's like, yeah, you can't come in until 3 o'clock. It's only the people with like giant stands that can come in, you know, all day. So you need to go away for an hour and a half. So I'm like, okay. So I turn around, I get the maps up, and I'm thinking, things to do near me. So I look, and there's like a bowling alley like 2 minutes away. So I'm thinking, you know what? I could do a bit of bowling. So I go around the corner to this bowling place, and there's a massive arcade on the left, there's a big bar on the right, and then in front there's like 25 lanes. And I walk in, and there's just this dude there. He's like, hi. So I talk to him, you know, and I'm like, how much is it to go bowling? I know it's a bit weird, I'm on myself, but, you know, I've got an hour to kill, so... And it was something like a 10 or 12 quid or whatever. So I go over to play bowling, and I am the only person in the building. And it's like, as if bowling on yourself isn't sad enough. There's literally no one else around. One of the things I did a couple of years ago on my bucket list was bowl of turkey. And every time I've been since, I've tried to do it again, and I just can't do it. And it's 3 strikes in a row, basically. So I come to this bowling alley place, I'm like, right, I'm going to absolutely nail this. So I take my first shot, boom, I get a strike. I'm thinking, this is going to be a good day. And it was one of those things where it was like, okay, bowl to start the game. So the first strike didn't count. And for the rest of the game, I think I got like 1 strike. I always try to get a turkey, and I always try to score at least 100 points, which is quite average, to be fair. So I'm playing away on myself anyway, and I get a few decent shots, and I keep getting 9. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Got 9s everywhere. It's getting really frustrating because I'm trying to roll these spares, and it just rolls off to the edge. Quite annoying. And I ended up filming one part, so I bent down to put my camera on the floor, and I split my trousers in like an 180-degree arc all the way around, and I'm thinking, this is awful. I've got to go to this trade show and set up with myself exposed. Anyway, so I quickly finished this second game of bowling, back towards the reception to be like, oh, can you print out my scores? And the manager says, do you want another game for free? And I'm like, I really need to go because I've ripped my trousers, and I'm thinking, I like free stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, I've still got like another half an hour to kill, so... Oh, she says, oh, so you could do 2 if you want. I'm thinking, oh, God. So I end up having another 2 games of bowling for free, and that's pretty cool, so thank you to them. I do a little bit better on the last 2 games. I think I get like 109 or something like that. But when looking over the score sheets, it's just full of 9s. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. I think she gave me these free games of bowling because I was the only person there, and I looked like a really saddo. As I was walking out, there was one of those like Halo fire team things, like big arcade booths you sit in and you control the Warthog gun. That looked really cool, but I didn't have time, so... Anyway, I get to the convention centre and I get my stand built up, and I'm doing it all while trying to keep my legs closed, so I'm not revealing myself. It's a little bit awkward, but... So after I finish setting up, I go to, I think it's Next or something like that, to buy some jeans. 38 quid! 38 quid for a pair of jeans. So I'm looking at these tags, I'm thinking, yep, that's not happening. I think the most I've ever spent on a pair of jeans is like a tenner. So I go next door to Matalan or something like that. And I find this nice pair of black ones, 15 quid, and this shirt as well. What? Quite nice. And they don't fit. So I've got to go to work today wearing blue jeans and looking like I'm 12. While I was shopping, I bought myself some Grandad slippers. And they're really cozy, really comfortable, really woolly, and they keep my feet all toasty. So yes, Thursday. Thursday was good. We went to the trade show. So it was a long day. We started off with a bacon sandwich. We got set up. There were, over 1,000 people coming in throughout the day. So we made a lot of nice contacts. We showed us work off to quite a few people. It was really good. But my social anxiety, especially in professional environments, was just through the roof. Bear in mind that when I first started the business, I forced myself to go to these kind of events to try and be better at talking to people. And over the course of about 2 years, I got quite, comfortable with it. I was doing talks and seminars, I would go to networking events and standing up and doing elevator pitches and things like that. And then I've had 2 years at home, not really seeing anybody or doing anything. And then it's like I've gone back to square one. So I'm stood there, people coming up to me and they're like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, ugh. My throat starts closing up, I'm thinking I want to die. And then there's people coming up, and bear in mind, we pay like £100 odd for this stand, and there's people coming up, and they don't even ask you about what they do, they just give you their business card and go, oh yes, I'm an underwater basket weaver. I'm like, I don't give a shit what you are. We pay to be here to sell to you. The least you could do is wait for me to finish talking my shite before you give me yours. It's just common courtesy to all the businesses that are there. Let them talk about what they're there to show you, and then obviously if they ask you, then yes, tell them away. I just find it rude. Rude. We were there from about 9:30, and the show went until 4 PM. And my legs were killing. It's really hard to stand still for 6 hours when you spend 16 hours a day sat down. So I feel like I've done leg day today. Wah! Rasping. After we packed up, I got to fly my drone around the arena area thing and get some really awesome shots. And I met the manager of the building, and they wanted some stuff doing, so that was pretty cool. So today I've got some stuff to do for work, I've got some animating to do, and then I'm going to do some hours at Bottle Shop. Today is also release day for 2 of my favourite bands dropping an album, Persephone and Nordic Giants. If you like technical progressive metal, Persephone, definitely try that out. If you like ambient, melancholic music with a bit of punch, Nordic Giants. Both stunning. I haven't actually listened to the albums yet. I'm going to listen to them while I'm editing this video. Spiritual Migration, one of the albums by Persephone, is in my all-time top 10. And Nordic Giants, one of the best bands I've ever seen live. So hopefully it should be a good day. And then tomorrow, I'm going to watch a comedian with boys. So there's a pub just down the road. We're going to go watch this guy who is a stand-up comedian / singer. And is really entertaining, rips the piss out of everybody in the audience. And it's the guy that I booked for mine and Jess's joint 30th birthday party in May. So it should be a good warm-up gig for me and boys. Anyway, I've got to go. My missus is really poorly. I'm going to go downstairs and make her a nice cup of tea and give her a love. See you all next weekend and have a really good week.